Hello everyone. My name is Anshita Raghuvanshi and I am working as an assistant professor in BBTU University, Lucknow. Today and here I'm going to discuss on a topic, evaluation of crude drug. So let's start with its definition. What is drug evaluation? Drug evaluation may be defined as the determination of its identity, purity and quality of a drug. So we can say that evaluation is what, on which parameters we can define evaluation is that its identity, then the quality of the crude drug or its purity. So in identity what we do is identification of biological source of the drug. First of all, if we have to evaluate any drug, then we should know that from where we have got this drug or what is the source of the drug. So first character which should be evaluated is its biological source, because if we know the biological source, then further we can go for further procedures. Like then next is quality. The quantity of the active constituent present. On the basis of quantity of the active constituent present, we can define the quality of crude drug. Like we can say, like if it contains huge amount of active constituent, then the quality will be excellent. But if it contains a few amount of active constituents, then the quality will be not better. Then its purity, the extent of foreign organic material present in a crude drug. Purity can be said as like in what extent it contains the foreign organic material as an impurity. The crude drug which we have to evaluate how much amount of foreign organic material or impurity it contains. So on the basis of these three parameters, we can evaluate, say that or define drug evaluation on basis of its identity, its quality, and its purity. Then what is the importance of evaluation of crude drug? The importance of the evaluation of crude drugs are as follows, like determination of biochemical variation in the drug. Next is identification of deterioration due to treatment and storage. And next is substitution and adulteration. So biochemical variation means like what are the chemical reactions taking in the plants or in any living organisms. That is what are the variations coming from that reactions. The next is like identification of deterioration due to treatment and storage. If I have stored any drug or after collection any treatment is given to that specific drug. So what are the deteriorations which are coming with that? What are the what are the spoilage occurring due to any treatment or due to storage conditions? So to identify that specific thing, the evaluation of crude drug is very important. The next is substitution and adulteration. As we all know that herbal drugs can be substituted easily by different similar uh, other drugs which are low in active ingredients or low in quality. So just to identify that whether the drug is original or substituted or it's adulterated, the evaluation of crude drug is done, and it is very important. Then coming on the types of evaluation of crude drugs. What are different types of evaluation of crude drugs which we can do or perform the studies to know the specific characters? The evaluation of crude drug is done by studying its various properties. Like the types of evaluation of crude drugs are organoleptic evaluation, microscopical evaluation, chemical evaluation, physical evaluation, and biological evaluation. Basically, there are 5 types of evaluation of crude drugs which we perform, and in this we study the various properties of the crude drug, like on the basis of their color, sensory characters, then the microscopical character. Specific microscopical characters present in them we can identify on the basis of that, like some have calcium oxalate crystals, for example I'm saying. Some will have needle shaped crystals, the shape of the specific tissues present in them, or xylem, phloem. All these are pith, all these types of special characters are present in plant on the basis of which we can identify. Then there are some chemical evaluation, chemical test performed to identify that whether the drug is giving the specific chemical test of that particular chemical constant which is present in that. Like if alkaloids is present, then there are some chemical tests like Dragon-Probst test, Wagner's test, Hagel's test. So all the whether if I say that X drug contain alkaloids, then I will perform these 3 or 4 types of specific chemical test of alkaloids, and if it will be positive, then we can say that the drug contains alkaloids. But if will not give the specific chemical test of specific chemical constituent present in it, then we can say that drug is adulterated or it does not contain this type of chemical constituent and all. The next is physical evaluation, like on the basis of its melting point, its moisture content and all. Then is biological evaluation. So all these types of 5 types of evaluations are there on the basis of which we identify any crude drug or we do the evaluation of any crude drug. So starting with organoleptic evaluation. What is organoleptic evaluation? Organoleptic evaluation means the study of drugs using organs of senses. Like from the drugs which we can identify from our eyes or we can smell or with its taste, the primary evaluation. It refers to the methods of analysis like color, odor, taste, size, shape, and special features such as touch, texture, etc. Like the specific characters from which we can identify its color. Like suppose we know the color of any drug is like yellow, so we can say no, this is the X drug. The odor, specific, some drugs contain specific odor like licorice. It has a flavoring smell. Then taste, licorice, it's sweet in taste. So from taste we can identify. Odor, some have pungent odor, some have specific characteristic odors. So from that odor we can identify that it is the X drug or Y drug or Z drug. Then size, shape, from the shape, like if I'm talking about bark, sorry, I'm talking about roots, then which type of root is that? If a chemical constituent is present in root, and uh, then we will collect the root of that plant. So from the shape of the root, whether it is tortuous or any specific shape, then we can know that this drug is X drug. Like Rauwolfia is obtained from root. So from its root, we can say that this drug. Then touch and texture. If we are talking about bark, then we can tell with that touch and texture, and leaves are also can be identified by their touch and texture, that which type of texture they have. Then obviously the initial site of plant or extract is so specific that it tends to identify itself. If this is not enough, perhaps the plant or extract has characteristic odor or taste. Examples, some of the examples of sensory evaluations are there from which we can identify the specific drug, like cinnamon. It has brown color. The character of cinnamon is that it has brown color. This is a sensory evaluation. Like from the color, specific color, we can identify that this drug is cinnamon. Then umbelliferous fruit. Most of the fruits which belong to family umbelliferae have aromatic odor. Like example of umbelliferous fruit is coriander, fennel, etc. Then licorice. We can identify from its taste. Licorice has sweet taste, mulethi. Uh, the other name of licorice is mulethi. It has sweet taste. So from its taste, we can identify the drug. Then cinchona. It has fractured surface. We use bark as the source of the crude drug. So the bark has fractured surface. If we break it, then the surface of the bark is fractured. The next is Raulfia. Raulfia has wavy shape. The main part which we use as is roots of Raulfia serpentina. So it has wavy shape. The next is Senna leaf. So we can identify whether the leaf is of Senna by its character that it has 7 to 8 mm width, 25 to 60 mm length. The size of Senna leaf is specific. So from that size, initially we can identify the character that it is Senna, or the drug is cinnamon, or it comes from umbelliferous family. It is any umbellifery fruit. So these are the first specific characters from which we can identify. The next is it includes the visual examination of drug, that is morphological evaluation, like plant part. On the basis of its plant part, we can also identify the drug. Like if I am talking about any bark, then I've got a bark, then it most probably it will be of kurchi. Like kurchi, the main source present, active constituents are present in bark. Then underground are turmeric and ginger. Leaves, leaves are specially of digitalis and senna. Flowers of saffron flowers, fruits, fennel fruit, seeds, nux vomica, raisins, asafoetida, wood, sandalwood, gums, acacia, and entire plant is used in vinca. The next is microscopical evaluation. This method allows more detailed examination of drug, and it can be used to identify the organized drug by their known histological characters. It is mostly used for qualitative evaluation of organized crude drug and in entire and powdered form. Every plant possesses a characteristic tissue feature. Microscope can be used to confirm the structural details of the drug from plant origin. So this is more specific type of evaluation. In this, we can get more clarity. Like from organoleptic evaluation, we can only do initial examinations or initial evaluation because we identify the drugs with its taste or its color or its um, some morphological features, but two drugs can have same type of features also. So organoleptic evaluation is basically initial evaluation, but if we want to go for specific evaluation, we do after first confirmation, then we go for microscopical evaluation. In this, it is more confirmed that what are the from the specific features, from the microscopic features, it is more confirmed that the XYZ or the specific crude drug is of that family, or is the what is the actual crude drug. And in this week, microscopical evaluation is done on by the entire plant or entire crude drug. We can use entire crude drug or we can powder it. Uh, First we powder the drug and then stain and then identify. With the specific stain, we identify the specific features. So let's start with qualitative microscopy. For the effective results, various reagents or stain can be used to distinguish cellular structures. Like every plant has specific cellular structure. So to identify the specific structure, we use various reagents or stains. Staining is done with specific color, and also from that we can identify the specific cellular structures. Like ruthenium red is used, iodine, potassium iodide solution is used for staining and to identification of cellular structures. Fluorobrisanol, as I have discussed here, a drop of fluorobrisanol and concentrated hydrochloric acid give red stain with lignin. If lignin is present in any plant and we stain it with fluorobrisanol and concentrated hydrochloric acid, the red color stain will show the presence of lignin. Then mucilage is stained pink with ruthenium red, and also when treated with Colarin soda and few drops of sodium carbonate solution, cellulose wall swells and dissolved in coaxium. So if we want to do test of mucilage, then we stain it with pink color with ruthenium red and treat with chlorine soda and sometimes few drop of sodium carbonate solution. The cellulose wall swells and dissolves in coaxium, while N50 iodine solution stains starch and hemicellulose blue. If we use N50 iodine solution, then it will, if the stain or starch or hemicellulose will present in that, then it will stain it of blue color. Example, lignified trichomes in Nux vomica, warty trichomes of Senna, wavy medullary rays of Cascara bar, glandular trichomes of mint, etc. These are uh, stained with these specific chemicals. The powdered cloves do not contain sclerites or calcium oxalate crystals, but both of them are present in powdered clove stock. So by this we can like if if the powder is of clove stock, then it will contain both sclerites or calcium oxalate crystals. But if it is of powdered clove, then these specific characters will not be present. So this thing can be identified only by microscopy, staining microscopy. The techniques like microscopic linear measurements, determination of leaf constant, and quantitative microscopic are also used in this evaluation. Linear measurements include size of starch grain, length and width of fiber, trichomes, etc. So with the help of microscopy, we can also measure the leaf constants. Linear measurements like determination of leaf constant. If I'm talking about any leaf, then what is its leaf constant? And there are many more characters also like stomatal index, vein islet number, vein termination number, Lycopodium spore method. All these things can also be identified with the help of microscopy. We can measure the actual size of starch grain present, because if starch grains are present in many plants, but with the specific size we can identify if the size is X, then it will be of this specific plant. If size is Y, then it will be of this specific plant. And the width of fiber, what is the actual width of fiber which is present. And trichomes, like some have long trichomes, some have short trichomes, such some plants have wavy trichomes. So all these specific characters can be identified by microscopy or microscopic evaluation. As I've discussed and said, the determination of leaf constant. If I have to identify any plant with its help of leaf, then following test or following evaluation are included in leaf constant determinations like stomatal number, stomatal index, vein islet, vein termination number, and palisade ratio. These are the specific leaf characters which are evaluated with the help of microscope. Then stomatal number. What is stomatal number? It is average number of stomata per square mm of epidermis of the leaf, which we determine with the help of microscope. There is a specific method to determine the stomatal number. And what is stomatal number? We can say that it is the average number of stomata per square mm of epidermis of the leaf. What is stomatal index? It is the percentage which the numbers of stomata form to the total number of epidermal cells, each stomata being counted on as one cell. Stomatal index can be calculated by using the formula. Stomatal index, that is SI equals to S by E plus S into 100. So what is stomatal index? Actually, it is the average number of stomatal cells. Average number of stomatal cells per square millimeter of the epidermis of the leaf. Uh, what on at the epidermis of the leaf in per square millimeter, how much average number of stomatal cells are present? So average number of stomatal cells per square millimeter of epidermis of the leaf. In other words, we can also say that it is the percentage of the number of stomatal cells present to the total number of epidermal cells. What is it? It is the percentage of the number of stomatal cells present to the total number of epidermal cells. So the formula, this is the formula, that is SI equals to S divided by E plus S into 100, where S is the number of stomata per unit area. What is S? S is the number of stomata per unit area, and E is the number of epidermal cells in the same unit area. Like suppose the number of stomata per unit area is 2 and the number of epidermal cells in same unit area is 3. So what we will do? 2 divided by 3 plus 2 into 100. So we will get it in percentage, that how much percentage of number of stomata, how much percent stomata is present. The next character is vein islet termination number. It is defined as the number of vein islet termination per square mm of the leaf surface midway between midrib and the margin. So what is, first let's know what is vein islets. Vein islets are basically small areas of green tissues outlined by veinlet. In leaf we can see, basically in leaf we can see that there are dark green areas which are outlined by veins. So that is termed as vein islet. So on the basis of its termination number, we can identify the property of any specific drug, like if any which leaf has this type of vein islet termination number, and also on the basis of this specific criteria we can identify any specific leaf. So here the definition is, it is defined as, what is vein islet termination number? It is defined as the number of vein islet termination per square. In per square mm, how much vein islet is being terminated of the leaf surface midway between midrib and margin. What is midrib and margin? Midrib and margin, if we can see, suppose if, what is midrib? Midrib is the that part from which the leaf is divided. If you all can imagine, like there is a leaf and dark line in between from apex to the base is known as midrib, and margin is the outlining of the leaf. So we can say that midrib is the prominent vein that subdivides the leaf into two halves from the base to apex. And what are leaf margin? The margin is the edge of the leaf lamina lying between the apex and the base. What is margin? It is the edge of the leaf lamina, edge of the leaf lamina lying between the apex and the base. So a termination is the ultimate free termination of vein islet, and Hall and Minwell in 1951 determined vein islet termination number of distinguishing between Indian senna and Alexandrian senna. Basically there are two types of senna. One is Indian senna and other is Alexandrian senna. So how we can differentiate both of the sennas? On the basis of their vein islet termination number, the specific microscopical evaluation character, vein islet termination number, because both will have different types of vein islet termination number. So on the basis of that we can distinguish both types of senna. The next is palisade ratio. This is also a specific character of sleeve palisade ratio. So it is defined as the average number of palisade cells beneath each epidermal cells. What is it? Average number of palisade cells beneath each epidermal cells. As you all would have seen, or any the microscopic diagram, beneath epidermal cells there are palisade cells present. Long cylindrical shaped cells known as palisade cells, which is present beneath each epidermal cells. Basically, what is the role of palisade cells? They are found basically on upper part of all leaves, and the function is to enable photosynthesis to be carried out efficiently, and they have several adaptations. So how do we calculate the palisade ratio, or how can we define palisade ratio? It is defined as average number of palisade cells beneath each of epidermal cells. Unlike vein islet number, for the determination of which an unbroken portion of leaf is required, palisade ratio can be determined with the powdered drug. The technique of palisade ratio determination was introduced by Zoring and Wieses in 1925 in their studies on compositing. So here is the example, like vein islet number of Alexandrian senna is 25 to 29.5, where Indian senna is 19.5 to 22.5, as whereas tomatal index of Alexandrian senna is 10 to 15, whereas that of Indian senna is 14 to 20. So this is the specific microscopic characters, because if we have to distinguish two types of leaf, or two two leaves or two plants of same family, or having these similar morphological characters, so on the basis of this vein islet numbers, tomatal index, palisade ratio, we can identify or differentiate these plants. So microscopic evaluation is very specific evaluation, or is done for determination of specific characters. Now coming on to quantitative microscopy, that is Lycopodium spore method. This is also a very important microscopic method for determination. That is, this is important. This is an important technique employed in identification of crude drug when chemical and physical methods are inapplicable. It is inexpensive technique with official status. We can, when do we use Lycopodium spore method? When chemical and physical methods are inapplicable on any plant, then this technique is used to identify, and this is an official technique. Lycopodium spores are very characteristic in shape and appearance, and exceptionally uniform in size per 25 micrometer. On an average, 94,000 spores per mg of powdered lycopodium are present. So what is Lycopodium spores? These are spores which are characteristic in shape and appearance and exceptionally uniform in size. So size is uniform, basically in 25 micrometer. A powder drug is evaluated by this technique if it contains, well, when can we use Lycopodium spore method for a powder drug? If the following characters are present, like it has well-defined particles which may be counted. Example, starch grains or pollen grains. If the particles will be not defined, then it will be very difficult to count them. So it should have well-defined particles. Single layered cells or tissue, the area of which may be traced under suitable magnification and actual area calculated. It should have single layered cells or tissue, and the area which may be traced under suitable magnification and actual area calculated. The objects of uniform thickness, the length of which can be measured under distinct under suitable magnification and actual area calculated. The percentage purity of an authentic powdered ginger is calculated using the following equation. We have taken the example of ginger. If you want to identify a drug on the basis of Lycopodium spore method, so here I have taken the example of ginger. The percentage purity of an authentic powdered ginger is calculated using the following equation. The equation for calculation of Lycopodium spore method is N into W into 94,000 upon S into M into P into 100 equals to percent purity. It also comes in percentage. The value comes in percentage. So where N is the number of characteristic structures, example starch grain in 26 field, number of characteristic structures, like we are identifying on basis of starch grain. It has suppose only one characteristic structure, that is starch grain. So N will stand for it, number of characteristic structures in 26 field. We'll calculate in 26 field, number of characteristic structure present in 26 field. Then W, weight in mg of Lycopodium taken. W will be weight in mg of Lycopodium taken. S will be number of Lycopodium spore in same 25 fields. What will be S? S will be number of Lycopodium spores in the same 25 field. M will be weight in mg of sample calculated on the basis of sample dried at 105 degrees Celsius. The sample, like if we take whatever the sample we are taking will be dried at 105 degrees Celsius. The dried weight of the sample in mg will be taken, and P will be 2,86,000 in case of ginger starch grain powder. So Lycopodium spore method can be used for the evaluation of powdered clove, ginger, cardamom, nutmeg, umbelliferous fruits, etc. This method, the Lycopodium spore method, basically gives the ratio of individual ingredients in the powder drug so that any adulteration or genuine drug with its adulterant can be found out. The next is chemical evaluation. The chemical evaluation includes qualitative chemical test, quantitative chemical test, chemical assays, and instrumental analysis. The isolation, purification, and identification of active constituents and chemical methods of evaluation. Qualitative chemical test includes identification test of various phytoconstituents like alkaloids, glycosides, tannins, etc. So what we do in chemical evaluation is that we identify the specific fruit drug on the basis of their specific chemical test, which can be done according to the chemical constituent present in them. Like if a plant is containing alkaloid, we know that this plant is containing alkaloid, we perform the chemical test for alkaloids. The like Dragon Drops test, Mayer's test, Hager's test, Wagner's test. Then for tannins, we perform gold bitter skin test, a specific test for tannins. And apart from identification test, we do the chemical assays, instrumental analysis. So these types of tests are performed for chemical evaluation to identify on the basis of chemical evaluation of the drugs. The next is physical evaluation. Physical standards are to be determined for the drugs wherever possible. These are really constant for crude drugs, but may help in evaluation specifically with reference to moisture content, specific gravity, density, optical rotation, refractive index, melting point, viscosity, and solubility in different solvents. So in physical evaluation, how we identify any drug, like by knowing its moisture content, we'll go for the test for moisture content. That what is the quantity of moisture present in the drug, specific gravity, is density, refractive index, melting point, at what is the temperature in which the drug melts. This also gives the specific test, like if I know that 105 is the melting point for digital, for example, for X leaf. So if the drug is melting at 105 degree, then it must be the X drug, or the viscosity, or in the different, how, in which types of solvents it's soluble, whether it's soluble in alcohol, it's water soluble, or it's soluble in ether, in chloroform, in which type of solvent it is soluble. On the basis of the solubility also we can identify that what is the drug. The next is biological evaluation. When the estimation of potency of crude drug or its preparation is done by means of its effects on living organisms like bacteria, fungal growth, or animal tissue, or entire animal, it is known as bioassay. This method is generally called for when standardization is not adequately done by chemical or physical means, and also for conformity of therapeutic activity of raw material and finished product. What we do in biological evaluation, like when chemical and physical methods are not accurate to confirm the activity, and also we have to determine the therapeutic effect of the drug, then we use living organisms like bacteria, fungal growth, or any animal tissue or entire animal to know or to confirm its identity or confirm its therapeutic activity and all this. So this type of evaluation is known as biological evaluation. We do bioassays to confirm that the specific plant is showing its specific therapeutic activity or not, or which type of therapeutic activity it is showing, like so this method is known as biological evaluation. In other words, bioassay is the measure of sample being tested capable of producing biological effects as that of the standard preparation. Such activity is represented in units known as international units, IU. The specific biological activity contained in each IU of few drugs is mentioned as under, like digitalis. 1 IU is contained in 76 mg of standard preparation, whereas in vitamin A, 1 IU is present in 0.344 micrograms of standard preparation. Biological assays method are mainly of three types: toxic, symptomatic, and tissue methods. In toxic and symptomatic techniques, the animals are used, whereas in tissue methods, the effect of drug is observed on isolated organ or tissues. Among the drugs that are subjected to bioassay and cardiac glycosides, natural pesticides, and antibiotics. So these were the 5 techniques of evaluation of the crude drugs, the organoleptic methods on the basis of which on in which we use sensory characters and visual examination to identify the drug. The next was microscopic evaluation, in which with the help of microscope we go to identify the specific plant feature present in the plant for its identification. And it has two types, like qualitative and quantitative. In this we determine on the basis of its vein islet number, vein termination number, its stomatal index, its palisade ratio, and we go for lycopodium spore method if the plant contains specific types of specific shape and size of spores. The next was chemical identification or evaluation, in which specific identification test for specific chemical constant present in the plant is done, like alkaloids, like test for alkaloids, test for glycosides, test for tannins, resins, carbohydrates, whatever or whichsoever is the chemical constituent present in the plant, the identification for that will be done. And many other chemical tests, like uh, chemical techniques and instrumentation techniques to do the analysis of the drug. The next was physical evaluation, in which on the basis of its physical characters or properties of the plants, the identification is done, like checking its moisture content, its melting point, its refractive index, etc. The fifth and last was biological evaluation, in which we include living organisms to test the activity, therapeutic activity, if chemical and physical method of evaluation are not sufficient to identify the drug. Thank you.